morning. And spreading the love. Valentine's Day is come and gone, but local businesses are hoping you'll help them support animals looking for forever homes. Plus, a sure sign of spring. Pitchers and catchers are in Arizona, and the entire team is about to join them. We're looking ahead to another exciting season of Brewers baseball.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us on this Saturday, February 16th. I'm Josh Brighter with meteorologist Chris Reese. And here we are again. More snow is headed our way.
Another weekend, another chance of snow. At this point, I feel like it's a Snapchat streak on the weekends.
I told you, it's hard to even intro it because it's always the same thing. Here comes the snow.
Well, you know what? I was just dancing to our new jingle because it is nice.
It's the little things, right?
The snow, right? All right, here's the deal. It's cold outside, but the temperature has made it to 3 degrees at this 8 o'clock hour. We'll continue to watch those temperatures gradually warm throughout the day, and we do have some sunshine out there this morning. It's negative 13 right now in Black River Falls. Now, thankfully, we don't have much in the way of wind. Because of that, wind chills aren't much of a problem. They are very close to where a lot of those actual air temperatures are. But here is the sunshine that is in play. Cloud cover already starting to fill in right now. Again, temperatures at 3 and those winds are calm, but watch that cloud cover continue to increase as we go throughout the day. We'll see those temperatures topping out into the middle 20s before essentially leveling off at that point. That snow begins to work its way on in here, especially during the overnight hours and into your morning on Sunday. And we could see about 2 to 5 inches of snowfall for a lot of folks, especially towards the Mississippi River. So tomorrow is an alert day in anticipation of the snow, and we'll see what we're talking about next weekend, Josh. But for now, we are going to focus on the snow to come.
Do, 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 do.
I know, I'm going to be singing that jingle
and the other
all
whoa.
day.
Gotta love it.
I know.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Anytime.
It is 8:01 right now and just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning. A 50-year-old man is dead after officers say his car caught fire last night. It happened on the 500 block of Cemetery Road in the village of Merrimack. The Sauk County Sheriff's Office says Ricky Gielen of Prairie du Sac drove his car into a front yard. They say he tried to back out on the front lawn, but the car caught fire. Witnesses reportedly tried to help him out but couldn't. Gielen was dead by the time officers arrived. Madison police are looking for the woman involved in an incident at Danny's Pub overnight where a bouncer was pepper sprayed by a woman. Officers say the woman was mad she wasn't allowed to enter the bar and told the bouncer he was going to have to make her leave. When he tried to escort her outside, the woman hit him and then reportedly sprayed pepper spray in his eyes. The woman got away by the time police arrived, and they're now trying to identify her, but she will be charged. Well, the first lawsuit was filed overnight challenging President Donald Trump's national emergency declaration to build his wall on the southern border, and more legal challenges are expected. The declaration will give the president $8 billion for constructing a steel border barrier. Before he declared the emergency, Congress passed a spending bill to keep the government open and only included $1.3 billion for the wall.
Sounds like a lot, but it's not so much, although we're putting it to much better use than it used to be.
The bulk of the money comes from the Defense Department budget, including $3.6 billion in military construction funding. The Chinese government confirms it will send trade negotiators to D.C. this coming week. This comes after 2 days of talks in Beijing. American officials want China to scale back plans for creating a group of global leaders in robotics and other technologies. There's another $200 billion tariff hike on Chinese imports planned for March 2nd if a deal isn't reached by then. China is Wisconsin's third biggest export market, accounting for $1.7 billion in annual revenue. Turning now to campaign 2020. When it comes to the next election, political science experts say Wisconsin will be a key player because it's one of a half a dozen battleground states.
But Donald Trump carrying our state in 2016, I think, definitely showed any Democratic candidate in 2020 they can't take Wisconsin for granted. So I think we'll see a lot of the Democratic field in 2020, not just in the primary election, but also then in the general election.
Beto O'Rourke, the Texan mulling a run for the White House, made stops in the state Friday, but he isn't the only one traveling to Wisconsin this early. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar will be in Eau Claire today. She announced last week that she will run for president. Governor Tony Evers has ordered all flags to fly at half-staff today, honoring a Milwaukee Department of Public Works employee who was hit and killed while on the job. 54-year-old Brian Rodriguez was filling potholes last Friday when he was hit by a car and pinned to his truck. First responders took him to the hospital, but he didn't survive. Authorities said the driver took off on foot from the scene, and they still haven't tracked that person down. Right now, Aurora police continue to investigate as people in that western Chicago suburb mourn today. A gunman opened fire Friday at a manufacturing facility, killing 5 people and injuring 5 officers. The alleged attacker, identified as 45-year-old Gary Martin, was killed. Police say he worked at the facility, and new information released this morning shows he was being fired from his job after 15 years with the company. The 5 officers who were shot have non-life-threatening injuries. They have not yet identified those killed in that attack. If you are headed out on the interstate this weekend, everything is patched up after emergency pothole repairs. Those potholes popped up after the temperature swings and heavy snow the last few weeks, causing the pavement to deteriorate. Crews had to fix a nearly 2-mile stretch of I-3990 heading south toward Rock County outside of Madison. That part of the highway was down to just 1 lane earlier this week, but just in time for the weekend, the DOT reports all lanes are now back open. 5 minutes past 8 right now. Graduation rates are on the rise in Wisconsin. The state's Department of Public Instruction saw the highest rates ever with the 2018 class at nearly 90%. There were some notable gap closures. The largest jump was for students learning English at more than 5 points. The rate gap also dropped for African American students and Hispanic students by almost 4. More local news. UW researchers are making steps toward finding a treatment for conditions like autism. That new study shows how a specific gene mutation can lead to intellectual disabilities. It pinpoints that mutation as the first step to finding how to block or even reverse it after birth. Still, researchers say they're years away from developing a potential treatment, though the work being done in Madison is some of the first of its kind anywhere. Well, throughout the month of February, there are a number of ways you can support local animals searching for a forever home. Here are some of those cuties up for adoption right now. Mound's Pet Food Warehouse is donating 10% of every dollar spent on pet food to the Dane County Humane Society. That's part of its People for Pets program, which has been going on for more than 2 decades. When you buy groceries at Metcalf's this month, they're taking 5% off your receipt and matching that discount with a donation to the Humane Society. A Janesville man is moving forward with plans to build a tiny home community for people struggling with homelessness, and he's asking for your help. Rich Snyder told City Council this week he plans to raise $7,000 to build the first of 6 homes. A property owner on South Franklin Street wants to donate the land for the project kitty corner from the Ace Hardware store along the Rock River. Snyder says he already has volunteers to help build the homes, including a local excavator who's donating labor to connect homes to sewer and water service. If you'd like to support the project, just search for the story on our website. UW-Madison police are warning about multiple burglaries around the hospital over the last month. Officers sent an alert to UW staff this week. We don't know what was stolen because the burglaries were reported to hospital security and not officially filed with UW police. But the department is reminding people working or visiting the hospital to lock valuables up when you're in a public area or take them with you. Also, keep an eye out for suspicious activity, like people trying to open different doors to see if they're unlocked. Well, Badger fans, take note. A new hotel might be going up right next to the Kohl Center. The proposal has it replacing part of the parking lot behind the Kohl Center along Regent and the East Campus Mall. That means people who stay there would have direct access to the Capital City Bike Trail. The developer wants to build a 6-story building with a lobby and a bar on the first couple floors and 4 levels of hotel rooms above that. It would include about 175 rooms for guests and more than 200 parking spaces. No word yet on when it would open. That developer is also considering an addition to East High School, helping make it safer for students and staff. The district wants to install a 6,000 square foot entrance to the Pergolders Fieldhouse. Not only would that add a security element to the school, but it would also make it so people don't have to walk through the entire building to get to the games and events. Well, if you have a student athlete in the family, you may know the WIAA doesn't allow you to appeal a ref's call. That's what happened to Waterford High School wrestler Hayden Halter. Earlier this month, the Racine County athlete was suspended for 1 match for arguing with an official and snowboating after a win. That punishment for unsportsmanlike conduct would have made him miss a key match to make it to the state tournament, so his parents brought the call to court. A judge ruled in their favor, saying their son's actions didn't merit a suspension. The WIAA can appeal that decision, but the organization says it's still weighing its options. This, of course, comes at a time when there's already a shortage of referees. Well, spring is finally here, at least for the Brewers. This coming Tuesday, the team will hold its first ever full workout. This week, pitchers and catchers kicked off spring training, cutting the ribbon on a new training facility called the American Family Field of Phoenix. The Brewers invested more than $60 million into that project. The Brewers, of course, are coming off their most successful seasons in history, getting one win away from the World Series. But as the 2019 manager, Craig Counsell, says, last year doesn't mean anything.
This team, hasn't accomplished anything. This is a new team, and we've got to make our kind of own tracks here. We're going to have different challenges. There's going to be a different set of challenges placed in front of the team and in front of, these guys that were very successful.
Well, if you happen to be heading to Greece or anywhere on Aegean Airlines anytime soon, a familiar face for Wisconsin sports fans might be showing you how to properly buckle your seatbelt or what to do in case of an emergency on the plane. That's right, the Greek freak himself, Giannis Antetokounmpo, now stars in the safety video on Aegean Airlines. That is the largest Greek airline in the world. Well, if you're looking for a spot to hear some good local music and help make a difference at the same time tonight, check out Mama Cares Winter Ball at the High Noon Saloon. All proceeds go to that nonprofit's work in supporting local musicians going through a rough time financially. The group was formed in 2015 to raise money for a local musician facing steep medical bills when his son was hospitalized for brain surgery. A $10 minimum donation is recommended for the show. Doors open at 6 and the music starts at 7. And this morning, you have the opportunity to jump into the freezing cold Lake Monona to raise money for an organization that helps thousands of athletes achieve their goals. The Polar Plunge is the most important fundraiser for the Special Olympics of Wisconsin. It's happening at Olin Park. You can register on site starting at 10 a.m. And our own Danica Lewis will be out there as well. 8:11 this morning, snow is back in the forecast and things are about to get colder once again in Madison. Here's a live look over the Capitol as we wake up on this beautiful Saturday morning. Gary is tracking it all in your first alert forecast live from the Railroad Show on News 3 Now this morning.
I'm meteorologist Gary Canulti live at the Mad City train show at the Alliant Energy Center. It'll be going on today and tomorrow. I'll have more information on the event, but first we have to get through some nice weather for today. Temperatures will actually be a little milder than they were yesterday, back into the middle 20s, and should feel a little more comfortable. Now, right now on Doppler track, things are very quiet around here, not seeing any snow across Wisconsin, but to the west there is some snow that will eventually reach us late tonight into tomorrow and could bring us some accumulation. In fact, winter weather advisories have already been issued for most of Iowa into Crawford and Grant counties of southwestern Wisconsin for an accumulation of 3 to 5 or maybe locally 6 inches of snow. Temperatures right now are on the cold side. Here in Madison, we're at 3 degrees. Temperatures are below zero to our north and to our west, but eventually these temperatures will come back at least into the middle 20s later this afternoon. As we check out the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, have some sunshine shining through the clouds. And as we check out our current conditions, right now we're at a balmy 3 degrees, but the air is calm, so we're not seeing much in the way of wind chills around here, so that's good news. Humidity is at 87%. Weather track shows a west to east flow in the jet stream. The next weather system, you can see the snow moving into the western Dakotas, will reach us late tonight into tomorrow, and then that'll be followed by perhaps another storm system by Wednesday of next week. Temperatures right now are on the cold side, up to the north, 21 below zero in International Falls, Minnesota. Even down as far south as St. Louis, temperatures are in the teens. But as we look at the future track computer model, you'll see the snow gradually starting to come in from the west late tonight into tomorrow. The clouds moving in, and then that's followed by the snow. That'll move through during the day tomorrow and into tomorrow night. And then after that, should move on out for Monday. We'll look for temperatures to remain in the 20s at least through the middle of next week. We have winter weather advisories for Crawford and Grant counties until midnight tomorrow night. Look for temperatures this morning to climb up into the middle to upper teens by late morning. By this afternoon, look for partly sunny skies. High temperature will top out at around 25 degrees. For tonight, look for skies that turn cloudy. Snow will start developing late tonight. Low temperature will drop to around 14, and then temperatures will actually start rising overnight. As we look at future track, quiet during the day today, temperatures in the mid-20s, clouds thicken up tonight, the snow starts to arrive by tomorrow morning, continues through the day tomorrow and into tomorrow night, then starts to wind down early in the day on Monday. Expected snowfall about 2 to 5 inches with heavier amounts to the south and to the west. The 10-day forecast calls for those temperatures to remain on the cold side. We'll see another chance of snow Wednesday, and then again for Saturday and Sunday of next week. So as I mentioned, we're here at the Mad City Model Railroad show and sale. It runs from 9 until 5 at the Alliant Energy Center. That's 9 to 5 today, 9 to 4 for tomorrow. There are all kinds of setups. If you love model trains, they have HO gauge, they have O gauge, N gauge. They have some rides for the kids, even a Lego setup here. If you're interested in buying some railroad equipment or buildings for your model setup, you can get them right here at the Mad City Model Railroad Train Show. Again, the Alliant Energy Center, 9 to 5 today.
All aboard, Gary Canulti. Thank you so much. Still ahead this morning, a sequel is already in the works for one of last year's top-grossing films, and Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson are teaming up to play some tough characters. Plus, there are several shows and movies for you to enjoy this weekend. Will has 3 things to watch when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
Well, temperatures are certainly colder out there this morning. 3 degrees here in Madison, which, hey, that's above zero. 10 as you work your way out towards Janesville. Back towards the north and west, temperatures are still on the colder side, as cold as -9 in some spots. Winds are calm, though, so that means we don't have to worry much about a wind chill, which is absolutely fantastic news. Now, as we continue to go through the day, expect those temperatures to top out right around 25. We'll see some sunshine, but the clouds will be back on the increase. We are already focusing on our next system starting to come together out west. That is going to be our next snowmaker. We could see as much as 2 to 5 inches of snow. So tomorrow is an alert day, and I'm sure folks are tired of me hearing or talking about the snow. So Josh Breider is going to tell us about the latest entertainment news, because I'm sure it's better than this.
I think it is, Chris. Thank you so much. Well, it just came out last December, but now a sequel to Aquaman is officially in the works. The original film brought in more than $1 billion worldwide, making it Warner Brothers' first DC release to surpass that mark after 2012's The Dark Knight Rises. There were rumors last month that the studio was gearing up for a sequel, but now that it's official, Warner Brothers has hired a script writer for the next installment. No word yet when Aquaman 2 will hit theaters. Speaking of sequels, here's something many will be excited for, especially you kids out there. Anna and Elsa are headed back to the big screen for Frozen 2. Disney dropped the first trailer for the sequel this week. The teaser starts off with Queen Elsa taking on a stormy ocean. It also shows other favorites from the original, including Anna, Olaf, Kristoff, and Sven the reindeer. Frozen 2 hits theaters November 22nd. Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson are teaming up in a new film out this year. The duo is about to hit the big screen as con artists looking to get back at those who wronged them. It's a gender-swapped remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels called The Hustle. That film hits theaters in May. And of course, we never make you wait to see something to enjoy. Will Loper has 3 things to watch this weekend.
Not everyone is a star, Freddie.
What are you afraid of?
Newly arrived on home video this week is Bohemian Rhapsody.
I didn't know it was fancy dress, Fred. You look like an angry lizard.
Got to make an impression, darling.
The film tells the story of the band Queen, with Rami Malek playing the legendary Freddie Mercury.
So, tell me, what makes Queen any different from all of the other wannabe rock stars I meet?
Tell you what it is, Mr. Reed. We're 4 misfits who don't belong together. We're playing for other misfits. You're the outcasts right at the back of the room. We're pretty sure they don't belong either. We belong to them.
Bohemian Rhapsody is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, darling. Listen, it's your sister. She's getting out. If you could pick her up, I'd appreciate it.
What time?
What time? Honey, it's jail. You get there when you can, like the song said.
Also new on home video is Nobody's Fool.
Hey, girl, hey! Free Alice! Free Alice!
Tiffany Haddish plays a woman fresh out of jail who thinks her sister, played by Tika Sumter, is being catfished.
Who is this?
Charlie.
Charlie.
He is an amazing guy. She met him online a year ago, but she's never even seen him.
He seemed too good to be true.
If the man looks too good to be true, he is. You're being catfished.
Nobody's Fool is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Want to go to Chachki's? Get some coffee?
Oh, it's a little early.
I gotta get out of here. I think I'm gonna lose it.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Finally, this weekend marks the 20-year anniversary of Office Space.
Now, Milton, don't be greedy. Let's pass it along and make sure everyone gets a piece.
Okay, but last time I didn't receive a piece, and I was told that
Just
I could have...
pass.
Okay.
Ron Livingston, Jennifer Aniston, Gary Cole, and more star in the film that depicts the horrors of working a 9-to-5 office job.
Hello, Peter. What's happening? I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. So if you could be here around 9, that would be great. Okay? Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm also gonna need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too, okay? We lost some people this week, and we need to sort of play catch up. I'm sorry. Thanks.
Office space is available to rent or buy everywhere now. Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. This is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
8:26 right now. There's more local news ahead for us this morning, including the kinds of Facebook posts that are probably affecting your happiness. Plus, they may be the last thing on your mind in this weather, but researchers at the UW have already started working on getting rid of those pesky mosquitoes this summer. We'll explain on News 3 Now this morning. New research proves leaving Facebook makes you happier. We'll tell you why so many people are still struggling to unplug and how to find a happy medium.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for staying with us on this Saturday, February 16th. I'm Josh Breiter. We'll get a check on that snowy forecast with Chris in just a moment, but first let's get right to today's headlines. This morning, Madison police are looking for the woman involved in an incident at Danny's Pub overnight where a bouncer was pepper sprayed by a woman. Officers say the woman was mad she wasn't allowed to enter the bar and told the bouncer he was going to have to make her leave. When he tried to escort her outside, the woman hit him and then reportedly pepper sprayed him in the eyes. The woman got away by the time police arrived, and they're now trying to identify her but say she will be charged. The love doesn't just stop because Valentine's Day is come and gone. Throughout the month of February, there are a number of ways you can support local animals searching for a forever home. Mounds Pet Food Warehouse is donating 10% of every dollar spent on pet food to the Dane County Humane Society. And when you buy groceries at Metcalf's, they're taking 5% off your receipt and matching that discount with a donation to the Humane Society as well. It's part of its People for Pets program, which has been going on for more than 2 decades. UW researchers are making steps in finding a treatment for conditions like autism. That new study shows how a specific gene mutation can lead to intellectual disabilities. It pinpoints that mutation as the first step in finding how to block or even reverse it after birth. Still, researchers say they're years away from developing a potential treatment, though the work being done in Madison is some of the first of its kind anywhere. Well, spring is finally here, at least for the Brewers. This coming Tuesday, the team will hold its first full workout. This past week, pitchers and catchers kicked off spring training, cutting the ribbon on a new training facility called the American Family Field of Phoenix. The Brewers invested more than $60 million into that project. Looks like spring down there, but it sure ain't spring here, Chris.
No, it is not, Josh. The temperature just now making it above 0. We cooled down to -2 last night. Now we're sitting at 3 here in Madison, 10 for our friends in Rock County, Monroe at 9, Platteville at 8, Lone Rock and Boscobel both at -5. Now, the Lakeshore is keeping things just a little bit warmer there. 15 in Milwaukee and Kenosha, 13 in Sheboygan, 11 in Manitowoc right now. Thankfully, we don't have that much in the way of wind. So yeah, wind chill's not that bad. They're closer to where some of our actual air temperatures are. We do have a wind chill of 0 in Janesville and -16 as you work your way out towards Lone Rock. But in the meantime, again, 3 in Madison. Those winds are staying on a calm note. Watch temperatures warm into the 20s as we head through the afternoon. We will begin to notice that cloud cover on the increase as well. Then coming from the southwest, our next chance for snow will arrive overnight and just linger throughout the day on Sunday. So tomorrow's going to be a day where it may not snow super hard, but the truth is it is just going to snow all day long. Tomorrow, an alert day as well. We could see 2 to 5 inches of snow by the time all is said and done. That heaviest snow will be closer to the Mississippi River. Now, if you are headed out for this Saturday, I do want to go ahead and tell you guys how traffic is shaping up. So far, things are moving along smoothly. We are green throughout the city of Madison as well. So far, no major issues or delays to report, Josh.
Chris, thank you. It is probably one of the last things on your mind right now, but there's work being done on the UW campus to make summer a little less bothered by those pesky mosquitoes. Thanks to a $10 million grant from the CDC, UW researchers have launched the Midwest Center of Excellence for Vector-Borne Disease. That's basically a hub of research to help Wisconsin be better prepared to respond to mosquito-borne illnesses like Lyme's disease or Zika. Researchers will work with public health officials on prevention efforts to keep those diseases from spreading and keep those pests from ruining your summer. More local news now, just in case you needed another reason to monitor your kids' social media use. A new study says social media addiction can make it harder for people to make and keep friends in real life. The study out of the UK found 6 in 10 respondents meet up with friends less, and 55% say social media has made their existing friendships more superficial. Those respondents also said just over 20% of their Facebook friends are true friends in real life. A third of those reported wishing they had more friends than they actually do. Another study shows people who leave Facebook are happier. A big reason for that is because they're getting away from those political posts. But if you're not ready to unplug completely, Eva Anderson talked to experts about what you can do to shield yourself from some of that negativity online.
A year from the caucus in Iowa, presidential hopefuls starting to swarm, now more than ever.
The volume of people. I mean, even last time it was a big Republican field, but this could be an even bigger Democratic field.
Politics ramp up in our state, also in our news feed. People eager to discuss and argue thoughts and views.
You can get your political views out faster with social media.
But Bruce Nesmith says just because it's immediate doesn't mean it's productive.
Social media is not an answer, it's a tool. And so just like, you can use a hammer to build a house, you can use a hammer to smash something.
Not just hurting productive conversation. A new study showing Facebook affects your tolerance for another person's party and your own mood.
Hopeless, helpless, anger, frustration.
Lisa Kim, a social worker with Psychiatric Associates in Iowa City, says in recent years she's seen a spike in people needing to process the political climate in therapy.
It was unlike anything I had ever seen in the entire time I had ever been in practice.
People quick to the keyboard haven't helped.
There's that person you were friends with from middle school who is very right or left wing, and they're continually posting stuff. So people feel sort of at the mercy of these things.
But many people feel if they leave Facebook completely, they'll miss out on what's going on in the world. Lisa and Bruce have a few tips.
You each make a decision on where your news sources come from.
Pick 1 to 3 go-to news sources that aren't on Facebook, where they can be clouded with polarized comments.
Knowing everything that occurs or every factoid is not necessarily as important as knowing enough to be able to recognize the signs of responsible argument, responsible political presentation.
And if you don't want to unfriend, use the unfollow option.
And I found by dispatching, maybe half a dozen at most people to the Facebook netherworld, the tone of the feed changed dramatically.
Lastly, if you still feel helpless, Lisa suggests to choose 1 or 2 causes that you will personally take action on to feel less at the mercy of online arguments and make an impact in the real world.
Experts say you should also stay off social media right before bedtime, since it can add stresses that can make you lose sleep. And ain't nobody got time for that. Well, it is a quiet February weekend in the 608, but if you head up north, there's a cool new old hotel just down the street from Lambeau. And meet Jack and Diane. No, not just the ones from the song, but these dogs, why they've gone viral on News 3 Now this morning.
The temperature is 3 degrees right now in Madison. Other temperatures staying anywhere from the single digits above zero to the single digits below zero right now. In fact, winds are calm though, so we don't have much of a wind chill to be concerned about. As we go through the day, expect those temperatures to warm up. By 9 o'clock, we'll see those temperatures right around 4 degrees, topping out around 25 this afternoon. Some sunshine early, but cloud cover on the increase and more snow arriving for Sunday.
Nah.
We're saying it again. Last weekend, it was the same story.
All right.
I know.
That's you.
Well, it's a rather quiet weekend in the 608. So this morning, we thought we would share some trending stories that we love.
Now it's me. Speaking of love, that's what we've been celebrating this week, and here's proof not all love stories involve people. Like humans, some dogs are also made for each other.
Meet Jack and Diane, a couple of senior dogs at the Humane Society in Augusta, Maine. They are so devoted to each other that the shelter held a wedding ceremony for them. Obviously, the dogs weren't really married, but shelter staff hopes that these pictures will help promote the canine couple's availability to potential owners. The two were found together wandering around a neighborhood. Staff at the shelter estimate that Jack is about 10 years old and Diane about 7. They're looking for a nice, quiet home for the canine couple so they can relax and take long naps.
Maybe listen to the song. I've got that in my head right now. Well, if your human Valentine is into the eclectic destinations and 1920s Art Deco, there's a pretty cool new hotel just a road trip away. A 9-minute drive from Lambeau Field, Hotel Northland is back in business after being closed. For decades, designers didn't want the hotel to lose its 20s glamour, so they kept the floors, or the original floors, chandeliers, and woodwork from 1924. The restorations were paired with plenty of modern touches that took 8 years and $50 million to complete. Rates start at $160 a night if you're looking for a Valentine's weekend getaway, and they're even pet-friendly. Well, hopefully you stocked up on some chocolate this Valentine's Day week.
But odds are it isn't this kind of chocolate. Introducing the most expensive chocolate on the planet. This is a bar of Toac chocolate, and it costs $515 for 1.7 ounces. I make enough for that. The cocoa beans are harvested for a single origin cacao tree inspired by French winemakers. Now, the reason it's so expensive, a Toac chocolate bar consists of only 2 ingredients, cacao and sugar. The beans have to come from a valley in Ecuador's coastal region. The bars are also produced in limited editions with just 100, or a limited editions of 100 with just around 6 editions each year.
Cacao. Yeah. And this is not just such a great way to spend the Valentine's holiday. Dating app Coffee Meets Bagel sent an email this week notifying more than 6 million users that they're dealing with a data breach. The company says an unauthorized party got a hold of user names and emails, but emphasized no financial information or passwords were compromised. It's apparently part of a larger data breach of 620 million accounts across 16 other companies, including MyFitnessPal and Dubsmash. And I'm meteorologist Chris Reese. Coming up, I'll have your forecast. Just kidding. But here we are again. We're talking about more snow.
That's right. I'm Josh Ryder. Chris, you can get rid of it, right? We are looking at more chances of snow, and right now you're looking live over the Capitol. Gary actually has your full forecast live from this weekend's Railroad Show. That's coming up next.
And the people just joining us are wondering what's going on. But first, let's wish a happy birthday to all of those turning 3 today, including Colton. Happy birthday, buddy. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 Now this morning.
I'm meteorologist Gary Canolti, live on location at the Alliant Energy Center for the Mad City Model Railroad Show and Sale. It starts in just 15 minutes here, runs from 9 until 5 today, till 9 to 4 tomorrow. I'll have a little more information on the event itself, but first let's talk about the weather. Quiet morning this morning. It's been on the cold side. On Doppler track, we haven't seen anything in the way of precipitation around southern Wisconsin, but there are snow or winter weather advisories to our south and to our west, including Crawford and Grant counties for tomorrow into tomorrow night for several inches of snow. Now, looks like the snow will start late tonight. It'll be kind of spread out through the day tomorrow and into tomorrow night. Temperatures are cold right now. Here in Madison, we're above zero at 3 degrees, but to the north, temperatures are mainly below zero, including temperatures close to 10 below zero in northern Minnesota. At least wind chills aren't much of a factor because the winds are relatively light. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison showing some sunshine through the clouds. And as we check out the current conditions, we're at 3 degrees with partly sunny skies. The air, though, is calm, so really no wind chill to speak of. As we look at weather track across the Midwest, the upper level winds are basically from west to east, so that's keeping the coldest of the air locked up to the north, but it's keeping the main storm track far enough to the south that this weather system will be more of a nuisance snow than a big major winter storm. Temperatures, though, are pretty cold through much of the Midwest, a few 20s to our south and east. Otherwise, temperatures mainly in the teens and single digits above and below zero. And on future track, you'll see the clouds coming in from the west. They'll thicken up during the day today. Then tonight, the snow will start late tonight, continue through the day tomorrow, and then start winding down tomorrow night before it moves out of here for Monday, and then we'll look for improving conditions at that point. So our forecast calls for temperatures to climb to the upper teens by late morning after, again, that winter weather advisory for Crawford and Grant counties from midnight tonight through midnight tomorrow night. Temperatures this morning starting in the single digits, getting up to around 18 by late morning. This afternoon, look for a high of 25 degrees with partly sunny skies. Then for tonight, skies will turn cloudy. We'll see some snow develop late, low temperatures dropping into the middle teens, and those temperatures actually rising overnight. As we look at future track, you see partly sunny skies for much of the day today, and then the clouds start to move in later in the afternoon into tonight. The snow for much of the day tomorrow, and then that winds down tomorrow night and moves on out. As far as snowfall totals are concerned, probably about 2 to 5 inches through much of southern Wisconsin, a little lighter amounts to our north and to our east. Heaviest amounts will be over southwestern Wisconsin. As we take a look at the 10-day forecast, you'll see those temperatures on the cold side. We should be in the lower 30s, we'll mainly be in the 20s for the rest of this week, and then some light snow Wednesday, and then again as we head into next weekend. So again, I'm at the Mad City Model Railroad Show and Sale. It runs for today and tomorrow, 9 to 5 today, 9 to 4 tomorrow. We're at the Alliant Energy Center on Rimrock Road. As far as information about the event, again, those are the times there. They have all, if you're interested in buying model railroad cars or setups, they're giving away 4 free trains every day as part of the thing. There's a whole Lego setup. Kids will love it here. So again, come on out to the Alliant Energy Center, 9 to 5 today, 9 to 4 tomorrow, and you'll have a chance. If you're into trains, this is the place where you hear a lot today. All aboard, because they'll be running the trains all day long.
The fun out there, Gary. Thank you. Stick with News 3 Now this weekend. Tomorrow morning, starting at 6:30, we'll be talking about a growing use for CBD. We'll show you why vets may encourage you to use it to treat your pets. But first, turning tragedy into triumph. We'll introduce you to the Boston Marathon bombing survivor who's the epitome of that cliche. Her inspiring message to all of us when News 3 Now this morning returns. We end this morning with not your typical athlete. Adrian Hazlitt was hit by a terrorist bomb at the finish line of the Boston Marathon in 2013. And then nearly 6 years later, a few blocks from the site of that blast, she was hit by a car.
And despite everything she's faced, Hazlitt is focused on turning her tragedies into triumph. Nora O'Donnell shares her story.
April 15, 2013 is a date Adrian Hazlitt will never forget. That day, she was a spectator at the Boston Marathon. She was hit by shrapnel and ultimately lost her left leg.
Yes.
We first met Hazlitt 3 years ago.
Something can happen to you in 3 seconds, but it's up to you to make every single second count after.
She was on the up and up, accepting her new normal as an amputee. 3 years after her life was changed, she completed the 2016 marathon, even though she was never a runner. It was a brutal journey to recovery.
Ow!
But along the way, she allowed cameras to document the whole process.
I was thankful that it was as raw as it was and that I captured those raw moments.
How has your life changed?
I look at life so much differently now. I just feel this sort of understanding about what it's like to go through something really, really tough. You know, it's that phrase that everyone's fighting a hard battle.
Just as Hazlitt was preparing for another marathon race, last month she was hit by a car. Another devastating blow, again to the left side of her body. The accident left her in the hospital for weeks.
In her case, with those two unspeakable, unheard of tragedies that most people will never experience, I think on the one hand, she has a depth of experience in recovering from something that's this traumatic. And on the other hand, this is a major challenge and tragedy in the middle of a training cycle, so we stop, reevaluate, and go forward from here.
Like in tragedy before, Hazlitt has shared every step of her painful recovery on social media, showcasing unparalleled optimism.
First shower on my own is a success.
She is adamant that this is not how her story will end.
And that's why it's important to stay positive, right? It's like one of those things, like even on this shift, like sometimes we come in at obviously the dark of night.
Yeah,
but as long
seriously.
as you stay positive, it just and keep pushing forward with that stuff, it just makes a difference. Just
Exactly, and that positivity is what's going to help you get through this forecast, Josh.
Yes, I hope so.
So we still have more snow on the way, 2 to 5 inches of snow coming our way tomorrow. Now, it's not going to happen all at once. It's going to be one of those things where just kind of light snows all day long. But when all is said and done, Monday morning, 2 to 5 inches with the highest towards the Mississippi River. And more snow possible Tuesday into Wednesday. That could be another 3 to 5 inch snow. So.
All right. Well, we have the morning off tomorrow as we're at an event tonight. So join Gary and Maddie tomorrow morning. Make it a great day.